Welcome back, everyone. This is lecture 3, which will delve into the use of WordPress itself. In previous lectures, we learned how to install WordPress on two main servers. The first was the AMP server, and the second was also the XAMPP server. I remember telling you that those that would use the AMP server, your WordPress zip file would have to be put in the www folder in the AMPs folder, which is most times located on the drive C. This is where the WordPress file would reside. In those, for those that also install it on the XAMPP web server, I said there is a folder within the XAMPP web server called the htdocs. That is where you're going to put your WordPress zip file and unzip it over there and go through the process of installation. The previous lecture went through the installation process, so I'm going to delve into today's activity, which is the use of WordPress after the installation. On your screen here, you can see WordPress has been installed, and this is the look of how the page looks like, which is not so appealing. So we'll go through some steps to get a very nice and appealing um, websites for this particular company. Now, let's get started by the installation of an Astra theme. So the Astra theme is a very powerful and versatile theme that will serve as the foundation for the website's masterpiece that we're going to create. So once we have the theme installed, what we're going to do is I would try and guide you through the choosing the perfect design by installing starter templates. Most times these templates will provide you with a head start in crafting a visually stunning website. So you will need to customize the theme that we're going to install. You don't have to really worry much because I'll walk you through the process of the installation and how to tweak the theme and its style to match up with your creative vision, whichever one that you want to do. So now the real fun begins as when we delve into the editing of our website. So you will learn how to effortlessly edit text, buttons, background images, and I'll find a way to make it so easier and show you how to um, get very good copyright-free images from different platforms. And an example of the platform is pexel.com or unsplash.com. And the pictures that we're going to get in there are the ones that we're going to incorporate to seamlessly um, integrate into our design to make our websites look so beautiful. So right from there, what we're going to do is I will guide you through a series of customization options, which would include text color, button roundness, button hover, and this would let you add some flair to your background by exploring background layouts. We're going to do a little of certain changes in the template that we do install. And there might be certain sections that we might even delete. We might move some columns and also delete certain columns and also play around with spacing when it comes to um, the text that we have on our website. One important thing that I'm going to teach you is you will learn how to utilize spaces. You will learn how to delete elements. You will learn how to update your website. You will also learn how to ensure that you have the full control over the design that you're going to come out with in your website. Now let's get ready to add a captivating backgrounds to our website to make this website look so beautiful. All right. So I'll begin by first of all installing a theme, which is the Astra theme. Don't forget, I told you before you can set up a website, there are three main things that you should have in mind. The setting up of the WordPress itself, be it on a host version, on an online hosting, or on a local one, which we're working on, and also the organization of some of the things that we have on the site, and finally the design of the site itself. So in today's, we are just delving into the design of the website. All right, to start the installation process of the theme, we first of all would have to um, log on to the website, the WordPress website itself. And this is a way to do it. This is when you go to localhost/WordPress, that will give you the website's default website interface itself. But most of the things that we're going to do is not going to be happening here, but will happen at the back end of the site. So go to the administrative portion of the WordPress website, you just add WP admin, which is found over here. So if you go to WP for WordPress, WP login or WP admin, so that will take you to the login page for the WordPress website. I'm going to log in. I already have saved my details in there. So this is the default dashboard for the WordPress when we log in for the first time. And you should be mindful that we downloaded the latest version of WordPress, which is 6.2.2. This is the latest version of WordPress available. So this is how the interface is going to look like. Now, as I was saying, so usually, so this is the dashboard. These are some of the few things that we will be navigating through one by one to be creating the content of our site. But as I said, after the setup, the next thing is to organize the site. And by the organization, we're going through the dashboard explanation, which is what I'm talking to you about. Then I'm going to delete some plugins and delete some pages. So by default, WordPress comes with some plugins that possibly we might not be needing. So I'll go to the plugin section. These are two plugins that we might get better versions for them. So I'm going to select them and delete them. So in deleting them, I first of all would want to deactivate it. And I can click on apply to deactivate it. So once it's deactivated, then I can select them again. And this time round, I would delete them from application. So of course, there is going to be a warning for you to do the deletion. So I'm going to say okay to this. So we have the plugin, the plugins deleted. Of course, this is also good. It depends on what you're doing with it. You can maintain those plugins. But I just want us to have a rough and plain environment to start with the installation. Now let's go to pages again. These are two main draft information that are there that if we preview it, for instance, this is the privacy content that is there. I want us to delete it because we might be importing something that will come out with some content in there. So I'm going to select these ones, then move this to trash. So this is still on the organization of the WordPress page when we have it installed for the first time. Now, just so we don't miss out on certain things, or anytime we make a mistake, we can revert back to how the site looks like now. There is a plugin that I normally recommend. In fact, there are lots of plugins that you can look out for, but there is one that I normally recommend, which I call Duplicator. So it's a way to duplicate the entire website. Maybe when you are done with the design of the website, you can duplicate the contents that is on your personal computer before you deploy it online. So first of all, I want us to just back up the site by using Duplicator. So in case we make a mistake, we can go back again and reinstall that backup by the use of the plugin called Duplicator. So to do that, we'll go to Plugins. Then we'll click on Add New Plugins. In fact, there are lots of plugins that are available that you can use. So I'm going to look out for the plugin called Duplicator. So this is the plugin you can install directly here, or you can just go to a WordPress website and download it and upload it in here. So I can install it because I'm already connected to the internet. So I'll install the Duplicator plugin. All right, so from here you can see the plugin is installed. If we want to view more details about the duplicator, you can do that. So WordPress migration and backup are easier and with duplicator, clone, backup, and the rest. So once this is done, I'm going to activate this plugin so that we can start using it to back up our entire site, as you can see it here. So it says create your first package, which is the duplicates to duplicate the website itself. So I'll click on create that one to back the website up. So this is how it's going to save it. Usually it comes in two files, an archive file, which is a zip file, and an installer. I might go through the installation process later on when we're done with the process. So I'll click on next. Then it will go through the scanning. So when the scanning is done, there are some few things that we want to make sure are in place before we'll be able to build the backup. So these you can see we are in good standing for the backup process. So I'll click on build. The process can take a little while, so I'm going to pause it, and when it's done, we'll come back again. So as you can see, the backup is complete. So we can either download, these are the two files that we need to download to take us back to the original look of how the WordPress website looked like when we went through the process of deleting the plugins and also the pages. So in case we make a mistake, anytime at any point in time, we can restore the backup and work with it. Now, you can either delete and download the installer or the archive in here, but I would want to download both at a time. So I'll click on this one. So this downloads it and saves it. So you can see I have the zip file for this one. These are the backups that I can use to restore the websites to the current state whenever I make a mistake. Now, as I said, there are other plugins too available that you can also use. An example is another plugin that's possibly we can try to install. And the name of the plugin is All-in-One WP Migration. It's also a backup plugin that you can install on your WordPress website. And this is it. You can install it. So you can move, transfer, copy, migrate, do certain things in here. Those that I would want some other students to also try with this one all in one and do the installation and use that one to also back up their sites. Personally, I've been using the duplicator for some time, so I'm also conversant with it, but others can also use this one. All right, so now that we have our backup for the sites ready, the next thing I want us to check out is the site title, which is what you see in here. For instance, Aye and Associates Technology Limited. So that's the title of the site, and also the taglines. When we go to like the information that we see in here. So we want to change the site title and the tagline for the site. So in doing so, we'll go to settings, and the information that we have in here, you can see IN Associate Limited, that is the title of the title, the site title, and the tagline is whatever we're going to do within here. But this is the original website. Let me pick up the tagline from there and possibly use that. Of course, this is the site we're going to develop is not going to look like that. I just want us to have some information in here. I think this does not have the tagline. Sorry about that. I think this is a new one I'm working on, so I don't have the tagline in here, so we can close it and let's just come out with a tagline in here. So the tagline is build, create, and secure. All right, so these are the addresses that I have in here. You can go through, and if you need to make any changes in here, you can just do that. But I don't want to change anything here, so I'll click on save. All right, so this is how the site is looking like. We've changed the taglines. Of course, when we go in there again, you will see that some of these content that we've edited in here is going to show. So for now, we are done with the organization of the sites after the installation. And what we've gone through is I've explained how the dashboard is. Virtually everything that we're going to do is going to come out from the dashboard. And we've been able to delete some of the unnecessary plugins that came with WordPress. And we've also deleted some pages that contain some content and also some posts. And the posts are also found under um, the posts are also found in here. So there are some posts like the hello world that you see in here. We don't need them, so we can just select it and also move it to trash. So we have a clean website. Um, Let me remind you that before you do the backup, make sure you have the post also deleted. So we have a clean website that does not contain any information in there. Now we're done with the organization of the site. Now let's delve into the actual, um, you know, actual design of the of the WordPress site. Now let's go back again to the dashboard. So we begin the design of the WordPress website. First of all, so now we need to install a theme for the website. Again, this is how the look of the website is. Now, in the installation of the theme, you come to appearance and you look out for the theme link in here. So you click on themes. Now, these are default themes that are available. So, for instance, if I pick up a theme like this, 2022, and I activate it, it's going to take effect for the website. So, the interface that looks like this is going to change from this to a new interface, which looks more like this. So that tells us that we can have as many themes as possible. So the moment we have it activated, it comes in here. Now I would want us to install a theme called Astra. So to do that, we'll click on Add New Theme. That is a theme that we're going to use for our website. Of course, we will add so many features in there. So let's look out. In fact, these are all themes, so many themes that are available that I expect some of you to possibly install and use in your presentations. An example is this. Some of them, there are some that are free, but most of the ones that you'll be seeing will be free. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to look out for the theme called Astra. I'll look out for Astra, the Astra theme. All right, so you can see there are so many types of Astra themes that are available in here. We have the Astra, we have Astral, Astralis Light, and all of that. This is what you're looking for is the Astra theme. So the next thing is to install this particular theme. So I'll click on install. We can see the theme has been installed. Now we have the chance to activate the theme, and we have also the chance to also um, have a preview of it live. But you can also click on details to also view the theme in action. This is how it's supposed to look like. And the good thing is we have about 5,275 users of this particular theme, rating this theme as with a 5 star. So that tells us that this particular theme looks so good that most people use it for their sites. So we can close it and go back to the theme. So the next thing we're going to do is to activate this particular theme. So now let's activate it to take effect just like what we did for the other one. So we'll activate the theme. So once the activation is done, you can see it is now the first theme that we have in here. So when we come here and refresh the page, which is our main website, you can see the theme looks blank because we don't have any information in here. But if we're to populate it with lots of information, we will be able to see some menus and also have a feel of how it looks like how we saw it when I went to the details page. All right. As you can see, we don't read the content of the site is vanished, everything is blank. Now, what we're going to do is to install a plugin, and this plugin, in fact, is going to save us lots of time. It's going to save us, in doing so many things so many times to be able to come out with a very nice interface for the website. So the plugin is what we call starter template. So in the installation process of a plugin, just like what we did for the duplicator, you come to plugin and you click on install. Install plug. You go to add new plugin, but you can still click on plugins. And this time around, when we're on the page, we can say add a plugin. At the moment, we have the duplicator plugin as the only one installed. Others might have the all-in-one WordPress migration showing in here. I expect some of you to also go through that tangent. All right, so I'll click on a new plugin. What I'm going to do is there are so many plugins that are available, but I would want us to install a plugin called Starter Template. In fact, this plugin is going to save us a lot of time, you know, instead of doing so many things, by ourselves, manually doing it one by one and all of that. The starter template is going to help us to integrate into our theme to get a very good interface for our website. So you can see from here that this starter template has been downloaded about 1 million active installation. And lots of people, 1 million plus people have installed this, and it's actually compatible with the current version of WordPress that we're holding. So to install it, we would click on install now. Those of you who would want to have more details about this plugin can do so. So we're installing the plugin. All right, so now the plugin has been installed. So when we go back again to plugins, install plugins, we should see this one there. We can either activate it here or go back to maybe install plugins. So you can see we have it in here, and we can activate the plugin by selecting it and looking out for the drop down in here and say activate. So I'll click on activate, apply to activate. So the plugin has now been activated. So where do we see this plugin? So when we go back again to the dashboard and hover over appearance, you can see we have under theme, you can see we have themes, customized widgets, new menus, and starter templates. So this is the starter templates that we talk about, that we just did the installation. So I'll click on that one. I said the starter template is going to help us to, go through certain steps to build a website that looks so beautiful. If you want to have more idea about how the starter template looks like, you can watch the video and go through it. So on this page, we'll click on build your website now. And this is going to give us access to a WYSIWYG way of editing our website interface. So there are about 3 of the best website builders that are available. We have the WordPress blog editor, we have Elementor, and we have the Beaver builder. And by far, the Elementor is the one that is mostly used and is the best way of editing the website. So we will select that one. So once we have that selected, we now will be given the chance to see so many previews of themes and templates that are available that we can use, for our website. So you can see from here, there are free versions and there are also premium ones. The premium ones are the ones that you probably would have to pay to get them. But I believe the ones that are free are also good enough for us to use for our site. Of course, whichever template that you take in here, that you pick, is going to help you to, you're going to mold it in a way that at the end of the day, the website will look something similar to what you download. So we can make a choice and select any of the non-premium templates that are available. And I'm going to select this one. Let me use nature or possibly wonderful, any of them, whichever one that I choose to select is good enough to work with. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to select this one, which is nature. So I'll click on that if you want to have a preview of how it looks like. When you click on it, you can see um, this is how the interface looks like. So it's not so bad. I think that's also a nice website that we have in here. And you can see if you want to see how the about page looks like, this is how it also looks like. Services page also looks like this. Let's see, also has a contact page that looks like this, where we can just do some editing in here. And we have a button for us to move away and allow website to open a new link. There's a new link it will take you to a different place. So for instance, so at the home page, if we want to change the logo of this, we can change the logo and do some few other things in here. So at this point, once you are sure this is the template or the theme that you want for your site, you can click on skip and continue. If not, you can go back to the themes or again and look out for a different one that you think is more appropriate for a site. And as I said, there are lots of them in here. So for instance, if I would want to select this one, and the moment I select it, I'm given a chance to go through it and see if the template is good enough for me. I think this one also looks very nice. This template looks so nice. So I think we might also, let's choose this. So the good thing is, once you make a choice of what you want to use for your website from the catalog of templates that we had, what is going to happen is the entire website that looks like this is going to install on our website, and the theme will apply for our website. So assuming we want this one, what we can do is to now skip and continue, because this is the template that we want to use for our websites. So I'll click on that. Of course, we can change the color theme. If we want the theme to be different, we can see by default is yellow, green, yellow, black. If you want to have maybe red, see how the design has changed. So if you want to have green in there, have blue in there, so whichever one that you want, you can select it, but we're going to maintain the default one. Later on, we'll do some additions in here to change the feel of the look of how this looks like. So we'll continue. Now, at this point, we just click on submit and build my website. So this is going to install the menus that we had on the site, the themes that comes with the site, the plugins, the form, like the contact us form that was on the site. So it's going to go through all this process and apply all these themes, forms, and menus to our website. So when we do come back again to our website, we're going to have something that looks similar to what we saw during the selection process and the installation process. So I'm going to pause this and come back when it's done installing. The installation can take up to about 2 minutes. So I'll come back when it's done. Oh, great. So we've been able to do the installation. Now the theme has been applied. Now we have our website and the selected theme installed. So we can view our website by clicking on this one. So I'll click on that. It opens the site for us. Don't forget, before this is how it looked like. So let's see how it looks like after the installation of the theme. Okay, so this is how our websites looks like now. And you and I can attest that we have lots of content in there, as opposed to what we had in here. So now that we have a default theme content and information in here, we can go in there, do corrections, edit whatever is there, put in our content in there, and have our own website. So the next thing that we'll be doing is to do some editing on the website by changing the text. some of like these are the four texts that we have in here by changing some of the colors. In fact, do some few other things in here. All right. So this site is no more available. It's off. So going back again to, if we to go back again to our WordPress admin page. So it's still WP admin. I'm sure you remember. So that is the admin page. So let's see some of the things that were installed. You can see we have WP forms. So that has been installed. That came from the theme that we just installed. We have Elementor itself also installed. We have some plugins also installed. But before we had only two plugins, Duplicator and the starter template. Now you can see we have these things, these two also installed. And when we come back to the pages in here, you can see we have some new set of pages in here for our website. So for instance, from here, you can see we have our homepage, projects page. Let's go there, see how it looks like. So this is how the project page looks like. So we can edit the content that we have in there. That shouldn't be much of a problem. We can do all the editions and let it fit and look exactly like how we want it to look. Let's go to services too as well. So these are some information in there about. All right. As I said, these are default information there. We could change the picture, change the information that we have in there, do some editing, come out with the content that needs to be put on the sites that's on the company site that we're working on. So be mindful of the kind of theme that you select when you go in there to make a theme selection. All right, so now we seem to have some information. So now let's start doing some. How can we do some editing on the site? So for instance, if we're on the home page and we want to edit some contents like the vision got larger and some of these contents in here. How can we do that? But before that, there are certain things that I would want us to go through. For instance, let's take this one for instance. So let's go to customize. So I would want us to change do some a little tweaking and modification in here. So at the customize, this is, let's wait for it to load. Okay, we have it loaded here. Now, when we go to header builder, so this is the header. We also have the footer. So header builder, for instance, when we go in there, we have the chance to, and these are some of the things that we can do at the header builder site. So we can go to site, title, and logo. So from here, we can see this is the logo that came with the site, Urban Nest. So assuming we don't want this logo and we have a different logo online that's a logo for a company that we have, we can change this logo and come out with a new one. So for instance, I'm going to browse, I'm going to look out for a logo, possibly on my computer. Let me see. I don't want you to see some of the content I have in here. So let me hide those ones and see. Let me get to pictures and see if I can get some logo that we can use for our WordPress sites. Okay, let's use a UMAT logo as a logo that we want to use for this. So we select the logo and we click on select and we make a selection. So we will select the logo and click on select. So we have the logo in here. I don't want us to trim the logo so much, so we maintain what we have in here. We'll skip cropping and we expect to see this change. You can see the logo has changed in here, but the logo is quite big. So what we can do is to reduce the size of the logo by just dragging and pulling in and out over here. I think this size is not so bad for a logo. So we have our logo selected. Now the site title, which is what's shown up there, IN Associate Technology. This is how it looks like. Now from here you can see we have the inline logo and site title. So that is the site title because we need one that. All right. It's taking a little while to load. All right. Once we are okay with the logo, we can click on publish for it to publish the new logo that we have in here. Now for PCs that have very high resolution retina display, we can also input a new, we can upload a higher version of this particular logo by selecting the image in here. It's just about the same thing. So for instance, I can select the same thing. So for retina display devices, we can select this one as the logo that should appear. All right, so this is now we've been able to change the logo. There is one we call site icon. Site icon is the same as what we term as a fave icon. Some of you, when we start with the WordPress, HTML and CSS, you get to know what fave icon is. Usually when you open a website, for instance, like this one, if I should unpin this one, you can see there is this small icon in here. So that is this fave icon or the site icon. So I'm going to have a version of the UMAT website, the UMAT logo as a site icon. So we can click on the site icon and look out for an icon which is of course the UMAT logo. I'm going to select this one and use it as the site icon. So with that, I'm not going to crop it. Well, let me crop it and use that as the site icon. So you can see there's been a change in here. We now have an icon showing in here. So that is the site icon or fave icon. So you can click on it to publish it. Now, so from here, you can also see anytime, whenever we hover over any page, there are certain things that we can do, especially at the header, because we are working on the header. When I click on this one, of course, these are the things that I could do. When I click on this one too, these are general information that I can do in terms of the height of the header. We can change it or move it to the default or whatever that we have. But we can do so many things with that. Wherever you have these things, you can do those edition. If I click on this one too, now it takes me to the pages where I can now either show Facebook, Twitter, and all of that on the page. So if I click on the icon here, you can see you should see Facebook vanishing. If I click on Twitter too, you should see Twitter icon vanishing. But of course, I would want all of them to show. So I would click on them. And by selecting individual ones, we can add the URLs to the Facebook of the company. So if it's, the company Facebook account is Facebook/IN Associates, then we can go through there. By using this, it becomes click. We just want it to be clickable, of course. So that is how it looks like. So when we think whatever we're doing here is right, then we can now save or publish it. So we want all these things to come in here. And mind you, we are still working on the header. So there are some few things that we might want to do. So we can click on this one, and this also gives us the chance to either increase the height of the menus that we have there or maintain what we have. So it's almost, I think it was almost 60. Maybe the position is too far or whatever. You can do other things too in terms of the width. If it is too wide or whatever, for the sub menus, you can do some addition on them or revert it back to the previous one. So I'll save this. So that is about the header. So we've been able to do some minor changes in the header by changing the logo and some few other things. So I can go back again. I can close this one. It takes us back to the other set of places that we can work on. And mind you, what I clicked on was the customize. So the customize gives us the chance to edit the header and possibly the footer or any other places that we might want to do some corrections to. So that is the essence of the header. Of course, we have the global in here, and within the global, we can change the colors of the theme, and the container, the button, how is the scroll going to be. For some of these things, I would want to, each theme comes with extra things that you might have to explore. So I would want those of you who select different themes, I would want you to explore and see some of the things that you can do. Now, the next thing that I personally would want to touch on is the footer. So you can see there is a footer, and these are things that I can personally do and edit and do some corrections in there. So for instance, if I want to change the phone number or maybe the content in here, I can click on this one. Then you can see this is more like a WYSIWYG. I can change the contents that we have in here. I can just maybe add more things to it, and those ones will be populated over here at the bottom. So we should see it populating in here. So it's just about the same thing. So I would want you to explore some of the things that we can add to your site in terms of that. So that is about the headers and the footers. Of course, those were not the only thing that are available. I'm not going to publish this because I don't want to change anything in here. But I expect you to change all the default information that is there. All right, so let me go back again. Sorry, let me go back. Of course, for the copyrights too, this is the portion for the copyrights. Now we have copyright 2023. So in it, we can have copyrights. There's a copyright icon and the year. For some of you whose theme just mentions the year, for instance, 2023, if you don't want to always change it anytime the year changes for the website, what you can do is to put it in square brackets and just let us know that put in current year, and automatically it will pick up the current year. If you are in 2024, it will pick the current year for that particular year. Now, you see how all these things have been aligned. So we have the copyright at the bottom in here. We have the socials at the bottom here. We have widget 3, which is the entire site here. We have widget 2, widget 4, widget 1. We can, of course, change the location of some of these things. So, for instance, if I bring widget 1 here, you can see the build, whatever, would all come down here. See, it doesn't look nice. So the arrangement can be done at this particular site when you have in here. If you want the socials to come here, you can have the socials here. See the social here, and we can have the copyright somewhere here. Most websites have the copyright here and the socials here, so we will maintain what everybody does when they develop or design their websites. All right, so that is about the header and the footer. Okay, so at this point, we've gone through how to install themes and use some default themes that comes with some content in our website. I'm going to load a video on the VLE. That video gives a very good comprehensive information on the addition of most of the contents that you can have on your theme. So an example could be there's a comprehensive video on that, on how to edit the text color, the button color, how to create a background overlay, how to delete sections on the website, on the theme that is displayed on the site, how to upload an image, all the images that you see on the website, like these images, how to remove and get new, update all these images. Now I'll include that video in the VLE. I would want you to go through it, see how most of these things were done and incorporate it on the sites that you're going to develop. Now I'm going to give out the second assignment, which is the individual presentation for the WordPress. Go through it. I will come out with a schedule where each and every one of you will come to the office and show me the website that they have. Of course, when you do come in here, I expect you to at least tell me the motivation for choosing that particular company that are going to display their website to me. You explain some few other things, then I'll award your mark, then you go. All right, thank you very much. So I hope to see you in the next lecture. But anyone who has any other issue apart from in the website design using WordPress, please, I'll be available in my office from tomorrow. You can always walk in and come if you have any challenge, especially with the installation of the WordPress. Don't come here asking me things that are already in the video and the associate link video that I'm going to put on the site. Please make sure you go through it and start the process. All right. The WordPress assignment, I'll make sure I put up the page on the page when exactly the assignment will be due. So please check out the VLE as often as possible. Thank you very much and see you in the next class. All right. Have a good evening.